We are impacting Latin America and the Caribbean, spiritually, socially, and economically. Lives are being transformed, and when lives are transformed, families are transformed, and when families are transformed, neighborhoods, cities, and countries are transformed, all for the glory of God. And we're glad that you've partnered with us for the change of a lifetime. I'm jguskjolen, and I've been in ministry for over 28 years, and during that time, I've served as a pastor, church planter, district superintendent, and missionary, and I've been blessed to have been called and used in this capacity. We're thrilled that God has had us return to the mission field, this time serving Him in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean, where we are responsible for all PAUC mission activity. The region consists of 46 countries and territories and comprises everything south of the United States, including the West Indies. The PAUC is currently involved in 13 countries and working closely in partnership with missionaries in 14 other nations. Yet we have much to do. Now, I know what some of you are asking. What's your vision? Well, it's simple, really, and that is to lead in the spiritual, social, and economic transformation of nations. The vision is holistic in its intent and its strategy. You see, our strategy is to minister to the three parts of man, body, soul, and spirit, and have each person impact their society for Jesus Christ, which will transform whole nations. Ultimately, in Latin America and the Caribbean, we will impact, alter, and transform lives through Christ and the power of the Holy Spirit. Lifetimes will be changed. Obviously, the vision is huge, and it's really too big for us. But that's okay, because it is God's vision, and He's the one who can accomplish it, and therefore, He's the only one who will receive any glory, and I think that's a good thing. Our objective is, in helping us achieve this vision, is to connect with other missionaries, other mission agencies and organizations in order to create new, effective, and efficient ways of doing missions based on collaboration, while strengthening our focus on biblical truth. With this in mind, we believe that God has directed us to focus on 7 key priorities. Now, God's priorities will be done, I believe, so differently and are so supernatural that only He can fulfill them, and He works predominantly through people who remember that truth. One of the things we're going to do is to alleviate poverty through feeding centers, orphanages, education. We're looking at involving ourselves in educational initiatives, both theological education, vocational education, leadership training, health issues, including HIV/AIDS, which is a huge problem in Latin America. We're working at preparing missionaries to go into the 1040 window and other restricted access nations where people do not have easy access to Christ. We're engaging ourselves in micro-enterprise and providing loans to qualified individuals. We're developing partnerships or collaborative relationships with other missionaries and mission organizations. We're looking at opening new fields of ministry for the PAUC through evangelism. We're reaching leadership at the highest levels of governance and business. You see, we're all about changing lives, and through individual lives to change nations. So I want to say this today. Thank you for joining us for the change of a lifetime, that together we might lead in a spiritual, social, and economic transformation of nations. I'd like to comment on a couple of things today that are rather important to us, that pertain to our priorities. Number one, in our last newsletter, you may already have received it and noticed it, that we attended the grad at the Cornelius Vocational Training Center in Guatemala City, Guatemala. This is one of the key components of our missionary endeavor, and we would like to see a vocational training center developed in many of our nations within this region. It is crucial and critical if we're going to see an end to the cycle of poverty in people's lives. You see, for instance, we sponsor children, we train children, we give them an education, but they need more than a simple high school education. So we are giving them vocational training so that they can go out into the workforce, begin their own business if necessary. They can get a quality job that will impact their neighborhood, their city, eventually their nation. We're looking at helping them become an entrepreneur for Jesus Christ. And we also will provide for them, as warranted in the next number of years, micro loans for them so they can establish businesses and pay us back so we can distribute those funds again. I think this is a wonderful way of stopping the cycle of poverty. Also, another thing we're doing, and this begins March 18th to 22nd in Panama, where we currently live, It is called LIG training. LIG meaning Leader Impact Group. It's with Campus Crusade for Christ, or the Power to Change Ministries. And in this ministry, we are looking at reaching out to those in our nation and in all the nations throughout our region, reaching out to those that are of the highest levels of business and governance. We believe that if we will reach them for Jesus Christ, and if they will accept Christ, and we will disciple them in biblical ethics, biblical morals, and biblical responsibility, we just might change. We just might change society and an entire nation. Not only a single life, but an entire nation. You need to pray for that. March 18th to 22nd, we're training people for this. We need your prayer. We need your efforts in this to see the miracle that God will do here. Also, at the end of this month, in November, beginning November 26th right through to November 30th, I'm going to be speaking at a church conference in Brazil in the city of Manaus. It is a Missão Evangélica Pentecostal do Brasil. Our missionaries over the years have had a tremendous impact with this particular denomination. And this denomination desires to highlight the PAUC, and therefore have asked me to come and address them in their 70th anniversary. 70 years of impacting Brazil and having huge impact in that nation. So if you'll pray for me, the 26th to the 30th, that would be a great help. I would love that and appreciate that very much. Well, I want to say thank you to the Missions Committee of IPC and for inviting me to come on board and to be supported by you, but through prayer, obviously through financial giving, which we need, but also just the fact that we're partnering together and knowing that together we are leading in a spiritual, social, and economic transformation of nations. And in that way, we are joining together to bring change to a lifetime, your lifetime and someone else's. God bless you. Glad to have spent some time with you. And do feel free to contact us anytime, lacministries.org. You have all the information there. The Missions Committee can give you other information in order to reach us. We would long for you to call us, chat with us, see what's going on, and forge a deeper relationship. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.